Hi, everyone, and welcome to this new podcast episode. Today, we're going to talk about the biggest mistakes that couples make when they're planning their elopement or they are eloping and how to avoid them. So, obviously, eloping sounds very easy and simple, right? You just go somewhere and you exchange your vows and that's it. But actually, no, it's way more than this. Um, yeah, it's just gonna be the two of you, or you can have a few guests. But even elopements come with a few hidden traps. So in this episode, I'm walking you through the biggest mistakes couple make when planning their elopement, and how to avoid them. They will stay magical, and you won't be stressed, and you won't have any regrets. So the first thing that I think would be a big mistake, and it's a big one, it's thinking it's just a quick thing. So planning your open day, it's not going to be a full day, or it's not going to be about you two, but just about the legal thing, or just a short ceremony, and that's it. There's way more to elopements these days that you can do to make it you. Because the fact that you don't have any guests obviously makes it an elopement, but the whole adventure and the whole experience part is definitely important. So you want to take back your power on that day and make it 100% yours. So of course, if you want to go to the county clerk or to the court to get legally married, that's absolutely fine. You can do that. But you can also go to a restaurant afterwards. That special restaurant that you always wanted to try. You can do that. You can also do a hike if you like to hike. You can have your dog with you, celebrate if you have a dog. You have so many things that you can do even at home to make it super, super special. So do not overlook all the things that you can do to make it yours. So obviously, if you go somewhere that is outside of your country, or if you go abroad to elope, then make it super special, because you're gonna wanna explore together, maybe have a cocktail somewhere with a view on the beach, or on the ocean, or on top of a mountain. You might want to do so many things that are feasible. You want to kayak in a glacier, just do it. You want to hot air balloon somewhere, just do it. You're on a helicopter ride on top of a mountain, just do it. You have so many options of, sorry, I'm just going to turn it out. Yeah, perfect. You have so many options of things that you can do on your elopement day. So just bring back the focus on that day on you guys. Yes, because you're gonna have an experience, you're gonna have an adventure, and it's gonna be just the two of you or just a few guests. So you have a whole lot of possibilities to make your day, and not just the ceremony part super special. So just do it. So another mistake that couples might do for their elopement is inviting too many guests and ending up stressed. This had happened to me just a few times, maybe 2 or 3 times, that a couple contacted me. They were super excited. They wanted to do an elopement, just the two of them, or just a handful of family members, maybe around 10 people. Join them and celebrate with them, stuff like that. So that was perfectly fine, and it was an amazing plan. And about 2 months before, they were getting back to me saying yeah, actually we're gonna be 30, or sometimes once it happened to be there were gonna be 50 people. That was way too much. I was absolutely outside of my range of service for sure, but 30 people, that's way too much. I know a lot of people want to be added to your wedding ceremony, but it's gonna stress you out, and I can tell you that 100% sure it's gonna stress you out, because if you contacted me with the intent of having an elopement, your whole chain of thoughts was around an elopement and not an actual wedding, because 30 people, it's a lot of people. You're gonna have to manage their expectations at one point. You're gonna have to book like a full restaurant, and some of the restaurants that I recommend have just a few tables, so it's not really possible to be like 30 people in that restaurant. So we're gonna have to change plans, and it's gonna change the whole dynamic that you really wanted to have for your elopement day, and that's gonna be very stressful for you guys, so I do not recommend it. So when you start talking with your family about the fact that you're gonna elope, tell them that you're gonna do a party after, and that they're not invited for the ceremony, but now you're gonna celebrate with them after. So that way you can still have like a few family members if you need witnesses, or if you really want to have them with you, which I absolutely get. But not like your whole family, not friends, 30 people is way too much. And I can tell you 100% for sure is gonna stress you out at one point. Talking about like post-elopement parties, I would recommend that you wait a little bit until you actually plan something. So you can start planning if you want to do like a huge barbecue in your backyard, or if you want to like hire a whole restaurant and do like an actual party with your family and friends, and be like 200 people there. That's absolutely fine, but don't do it right after you come back from your elopement. Let's say you elope end of October. Do not plan on doing that party beginning of November, because of course it's gonna be very fresh and cool, but first of all, you won't have your photos back. So nothing to share with anyone. And second of all, during your elopement, you're going to be stressed out about that party, because you're going to think about like the last details that you need to plan, and like the guest list and the restaurant and the caterer and stuff like that you might want to add into that party. And it's going to stress you out. So you don't want that. I'm like, for sure. Wait at least, I would say 6 months after you've eloped, to make sure that your photographer has your photos back, your videographer has your video back if you hired a videographer, and that you're actually available in your head to plan something that big, because it's gonna be stressful. One thing I see a lot, even with my couples, even when I tell them do not stress about that, they are stressing about the weather. I know it's very stressful. I know it might rain, and that's fine. You know what? Let's embrace it. But like, if there's a thunderstorm coming and it's gonna be pretty harsh and kind of impossible to do your ceremony at the specific location that we decided to, don't contact me a week before. Tell me, it's gonna be a thunderstorm in a week at 5 p.m. No, I'm sure it won't be like that for sure. So I'm actually using a weather forecast that is called Foreca, that I really, really like, because it uses 3 different weather patterns, and it kind of merges them all together to give you like the best predictions. Unless I'm shooting in Iceland, because it's so unpredictable that I don't use any weather forecast at all. I just use the weather website in Iceland. But like for any other destination that I've shot at so far, it has been my best option. So canceling or changing plans more than 24 hours before your elopement does not make sense. No weather forecast is able to tell you for sure that it's going to rain at 4 p.m. that day. It's really not possible. Yeah, they might say that it rains at 4 p.m. and then it rains at 4 p.m., but it's just chance. There's no weather forecast on Earth that can tell you for sure it's going to rain in 3 days. Like, none of them are like that. So 24 hours is your best bet. So in general, that's when I send like the final message to my couples. It's 24 hours before, because I'm actually checking the weather forecast and I'm telling them, so it's gonna be rainy, so it's gonna be fine, or it's gonna be foggy and we're gonna be on top of a mountain, so we might not see anything. So let's change that and switch up a bit destinations and locations for your ceremony, but like no more than 24 hours. And that really means that I'm in a plane at that time, and so I'm just finding plan B's in a plane, and that's absolutely fine, and that works, because stressing out way before it's actually possible to plan something for sure does not make sense. Another, it's not a mistake, but I would say it can be stressful, is trying to get legally married in a foreign country and getting lost in paperwork. So just off the bat, know that some countries would not allow you at all to get married there. Like, it's the case for France. I live in France, and it's not really possible for you to get legally married in France unless you're a French person or you have a house in France, which is not the case for like 100% of my couples. So yeah, it's just not possible. But in some countries, it is actually possible, but they ask you a ton of paperwork to fill, and you have to go to the embassy and you have to get apostilled documents. Sometimes you have to get translations. You have to be present a few days in the country to kind of go to some county clerk or like some office, stuff like that, to fill up some more paperwork. And nobody's legally able to do that for you because you have to be in person there. So yeah, it just does not make sense to me to stress so much about paperwork when you can get legally married at home and then have a symbolic ceremony that's going to be so much peaceful than like a legal ceremony. Because also in some countries, obviously you can get legally married, but you have to go to the county clerk to do that. Just like in the US, you can have a celebrant to go outside, but in most countries that's not the case. You have to go to, you know, an ugly building with ugly lighting and just, you know, say yes in front of the mayor, and that's it. So it really does not make sense to have this part of your day. So I would really recommend to have a symbolic ceremony because it makes things much easier. You want to be on top of a mountain, just do it. So other countries, it's much easier. Like Scotland is pretty easy. New Zealand is pretty easy. If you want to do a legal ceremony somewhere outside, that's absolutely possible. But you'll still have to kind of jump through hoops to fill up some paperwork and get the actual legal papers that they will need you to have for your legal ceremony. So just kind of put in balance everything. And if you don't feel like stressing out about any kind of paperwork, just don't do it. Just do a symbolic ceremony. I would have some like kind of bonus mistakes. One mistake that I see, not from my couples, but from couples who eloped without like any kind of help, without a photographer, without a planner, is that they forgot to build quiet moments into their days, and it was getting to start stressful for them, which is not the point. Like, the whole point is that you're gonna be not stressed about the whole thing. So quiet moments are very important, and to me it can look like going for lunch in a restaurant and drinking something, having a picnic at sunset on top of a cliff or something. That's a quiet moment. It's a moment that you can just be and not do anything. And I think it's really part of the elopement vibe. And that's why I like absolutely love picnics. And my couples can tell you that about me, that I love picnics because, you know, you're in a beautiful location and you're eating good food, because yeah, you can make a picnic very, very good. You don't have to buy a sandwich at the gas station. You can actually buy some fresh baked bread and some delicious cheeses and dried meats and a bottle of Prosecco and spreads that you love. You know, it can be a whole experience in itself, and I think it's very cool that you have the possibility to build in quiet moments, which is not something at all that you can do during a traditional wedding day. So just embrace it. You're eloping, so quiet moments are part of what you want in your experience. A mistake that you can do as well is kind of not hiring the right photographer or planner. When you go on a photographer's website or a planner's website, make sure that you actually love the photos or the vibe in general that you see on that website, because it's going to be what you're going to get. So if you contact somebody with the hopes that your experience is going to look like some other photographer or planner's website that you saw, but that were like too expensive or like not shooting in your area, stuff like that, your day might not look like what you wanted exactly, and that might suck. So make sure that when you want to hire somebody for your elopement, they are the right fit for you, because there are so many options out there of elopement photographers and planners that are going to be perfect for you guys. So just take the time to make sure that you're the right fit with the right person. And another mistake, but that goes with everything else, is trying to do everything yourselves. So this is kind of a possibility for you to include your family in some way during your elopement. Not having them there is an option, and you can ask them to like plan something for you, book a restaurant for you, or like choose your hotel based on the location that you chose for your ceremony, or like take care of the permits if permits are needed to have a ceremony there. You can actually lay on some people to help you plan something. Obviously, if you have a planner or like photographer / planner, just what I do, you can rely on them for sure. They're going to tell you exactly what to do, what to book, where to go, and like the whole day is going to be planned in advance for you, so you don't have to worry about anything. But make sure that you can actually rely on some people in general for your elopement, so you don't have to do it everything yourselves. So that's the end of this podcast. I hope that was helpful, and if you have any questions, you can go on my website and contact me. I will be happy to answer all your questions. Have a magical day. Bye.